Hello, and welcome to this new podcast series on engineering, procurement, and construction, or EPC. So, in today's particular podcast, what we'll be doing is we'll be checking out what exactly is EPC and why the EPC projects fail, with common pitfalls and real life experiences. So, whether you are a project manager, a site engineer, or an executive wondering how to get better control over complex builds, then this particular episode is for you. So, let's see what is EPC. EPC stands for Engineering, Procurement, and Construction, a project delivery model commonly used in the construction, energy, infrastructure, and manufacturing industries. It's a turnkey contract approach, meaning the contractor handles the entire project from planning and procurement to final construction and hands over a fully functional asset to the client. So you can think of it like a kind of a building a factory where one company is responsible for everything from blueprints to the last bolt. Now let's break down EPNC. Well, engineering, it is the brain of the project. It covers feasibility studies, detailed designs, structural designs, electrical layouts, and all of the technical planning required before the first brick is laid. Now comes the nerve center, procurement. Here, material, machinery, and labor contracts are sourced, priced, and scheduled. Any delays in this particular phase, they ripple across the entire project. And finally, the hands that are the construction. This is where the design becomes reality. Civil work, equipment installation, site safety, quality control, everything comes together on the ground. So, why does the EPC matter? Well, the EPC model is popular because it offers a single point of responsibility. The client doesn't have to coordinate between different vendors and contractors. It's faster, often cheaper, and has tighter accountability. But with greater power comes great pressure. EPC contractors are held accountable for timelines, costs, and deliverables. Any delay in design or delivery can derail the entire project. Now, let's see some common challenges in a particular EPC project. So, EPC might be efficient on paper, but it's not without challenges. Some of them are misaligned engineering and procurement timelines, poor vendor coordination, budget overruns due to poor forecasting, lack of visibility into on site activities, and communication gaps between office and field teams. Now, these are exactly the points where digital tools, especially ERP systems, can make a difference. And that's what we will be exploring further. Now let's dive into why EPC projects fail, common pitfalls, and some real life examples on that. So let's do a reality check. EPC is not bulletproof. While the EPC model is designed to reduce risk for the project owners, it often shifts the risk entirely onto contractors, and that's when the things start to crack. One thing to note here is that globally, more than 60% of the EPC projects run into delays, budget overruns, or outright failures. Why? Let's dive into most common reason. So let's see the top reasons why EPC projects fail. The very first point that we are going to discuss here is that unrealistic timelines and budget commitments. So many EPC bids are won by underquoting or overpromising. Sounds good in the boardroom until the reality hits. Late materials, labor shortages, and unexpected site conditions. Poor integration between engineering and procurement. Well, engineering says we need material X. Procurement finds a cheaper alternative without informing the engineering. Fast forward. It doesn't fit. The entire schedule is pushed back. Lack of real-time visibility. So when your construction team is using Excel sheets and your procurement head is waiting on email updates, you've got a disconnect that costs weeks, if not months. Change orders and scope creep. Design changes after procurement starts. That's a recipe for chaos. You suddenly need different materials, revised timelines, and a new cost estimate in the middle of the project. Subcontractor mismanagement. Well, multiple contractors have zero coordinations. When one team delays, others can't process. Misalignment is a silent killer in the EPC timelines. Now let's go through a story from the field. I remember working with a mid-sized infrastructure firm handling a water treatment facility. Everything was on track until a single vendor delay held up 13 downstream tasks. There was no alert system in place, no live tracking. They discovered the issue 3 weeks too late. Final delay was 9 months, and the cost overrun, it was almost 32%. So what could have prevented that? Well, real-time procurement and construction visibility, something an integrated ERP system could have delivered. Now let's see the patterns that are repeating again and again. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many EPC companies run multiple projects but repeat the same mistakes that they have done before because they lack the digital backbone to learn and adapt. So, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, and that's where ERP systems enter the picture. Now, let's go through the takeaways. To avoid the pitfalls that I've already explained above, EPC firms need 3 things. The very first thing would be centralized project data, live visibility into procurement and construction progress, better coordination between teams, vendors, and leadership. And this isn't just theory. In the next episode, we will explore how ERP platforms are becoming the secret weapon for the EPC success. So, well, that was much about today's podcast. Thanks for tuning into this podcast so that the EPC projects don't have to fail, but they do need better tools, process, and awareness. If you're in the trenches of a project right now and things feel off track, don't wait for a crisis. Let's talk. In the next episode, we'll be seeing how ERP gives EPC projects the control they desperately need, so you won't want to miss it. See you soon. Till then, adios.